everyone, my name is Snake Plays. Welcome back to another Pokemon Challenge video. So, this challenge was supposed to be a Christmas themed run, but I didn't get it done in time. It's really late. I do apologize for that. Well, the reason why it was so late is because this challenge was the hardest Pokemon challenge I have ever done. I'm not even kidding. I'll probably launch a YouTube short of one of the times I actually did rage in that challenge. But other than that, it was okay. Well, it was at the beginning, and then we get to the ending of it, and it was painful. We got it done. That's all that matters. So today's the day we're gonna figure out if I have what it takes to beat Pokemon Platinum with a team of only one Snover. So the rules are, I can only use Snover in battle. I can use other Pokemon for 8 gem use only. Healing items are not allowed, but healing during battle isn't allowed, but held items are allowed in battle. I don't think I would be able to do this challenge without them. And no glitches or exploits, so with no further ado, let's get to it. So, right off the bat, we use the Pokemon Randomizer to replace Turtwig with Snover, so we can do the whole run with it. We chose Turtwig, so our rival will choose Chimchar, the hardest Pokemon for us to fight. I decided to name our Snover Crystal, because, you know, Crystal kind of stands to the freaking snow theme going around. Okay, so here's our first rival battle. And of course he starts things off with Starly as we use Snover. It starts things off with Quick Attack, and then we use Powder Snow to almost take it out. Damaged a little bit thanks to Snow Warning. And then we use another Powder Snow to finish it off. Our rival's last Pokemon we're facing is Chimchar. He used Growl, which lowered our defense, while we use Powder Snow to do a little bit of damage, as he gets puffed by Hail. Use Growl to lower our defenses, as we keep pounding him. Use Leer, and he used Scratch. Oh my gosh. I knew this guy was going to be a problem, and of course, we don't stand a chance against him. So after grinding to be the exact same level as Chimchar, we decided to tackle it again. And he lowered our defense, and we used Icy Wind to do a little bit of damage. Lowered his speed as well, gets buffed by Hail. We use Razor Leaf, which didn't do too much. And we lowers our defense again with Leer. We use Razor Leaf, which got him to yellow health, and then he gets buffed by Hail. Chimchar missed on his attack, and we used Leer, I think. Then we used Razor Leaf to finally finish him off, winning this rival battle. Trust me, this battle is going to get really annoying towards the end. As soon as Chimchar evolves into Infernape, then we're really gonna have a hard time. So here we are going up against Gym Leader Rourke, and he sends out Geodude to fight against Snover. We use Icy Wind, which knocks it out one hit. Next up is Onix. And we used Walkthrough, which was effective on us, and then we just one-shot Onix with Icy Wind. So his last Pokemon is Cranidos. He used Leer to lower our defense, as we used Razor Leaf to one-shot it thanks to a crit, earning us our first gym badge. So here we are fighting one of the commanders of Team Plasma named Commander Mars, and she starts things off with a Zubat, which we killed using Icy Wind, because flying is weak to ice. Her next Pokemon is a Purugly, and we don't even stand a chance. She uses Fake Out, which causes us to flinch, but she gets buffed by Hail. Then she uses Scratch to land us to Yellow Health if we hit for a attack, which damaged her a bit. We landed at 4 health, and then we land her Yellow Health, but healed. And then she used Scratch, which landed us to 1 health. We missed, and then she's buffed by Hail. And we noticed that there's no way we were gonna win this. And it's like that for the next attempt. So, needless to say, I think we have some training to do before we're able to take down Purugly. After training, we decided to come back to Purugly. It uses Fake Out, which causes us to flinch. She gets buffed by Hail. Uses Scratch. We use Return to do decent damage, but heals thanks to Oregon Berry. Gets buffed by Hail. Use Scratch to do little damage to us. We use Return, which landed to Red Health. It gets buffed by Hail. Then with a final Return, took it down while it landed us to Yellow Health, defeating Mars in the process. So our next important battle is this Grass-type gym leader, Gardena, and she starts off with Turtwig. So we just one-shot with Icy Wind before we had a chance to do anything. So again. Up next is Rose Raid, which uses Stun Spore, which paralyzes us as we use Icy Wind to do massive damage. She gets buffed by Hail as she gets healed. She uses Grass Knot, which didn't hurt us very much, as we used another Icy Wind to finish it off. Her last Pokemon is Cherrim. It uses Safeguard as we use Icy Wind to almost kill it. It gets buffed by Hail, and then she uses Super Potion to almost fully heal it, and then almost kill it again with Icy Wind. And then Hail finished it off, winning us the second gym leader. I have a feeling this snow warning is going to come in handy later on. So our next fight is with Commander Jupiter this time, and she starts things off with a Zubat, which didn't get a chance to do anything as we one-shot it with Icy Wind. Her last Pokemon is a Skuntank, which uses Poison Gas, but it missed. We used Return, which didn't do very well. And then it gets buffed by Hail. Uses Poison Gas again, but missed. And then we used Icy Wind to land it to Yellow, almost Red Health, and healed up with Citrus Berry. Then she gets buffed by Hail, and then we use Return to land it to Red Health as we use Night Slash to hurt us a little bit. Gets buffed by Hail. Then we use the one last Return to knock it out, defeating Commander Jupiter in the process. So the next gym leader we're going up against is the Ghost-type gym leader, Fantina, and she starts things off with Duskull. We use Icy Wind to do decent damage. Uses Foresight as it gets buffed by Hail. We use Razor Leaf to finish it off before it done any more damage. Her next Pokemon is Haunter. It uses Shadow Claw, which did little damage to us as we take half of its health away by using Icy Wind. We get hit by Future Sight, and then we use Icy Wind to finish it off. Alright, so her last Pokemon is a Mismagius. It uses Confuse Ray, which causes us to become confused, but besides that, we still hit with Icy Wind. And then she gets buffed by Hail. She used Shadow Ball, which landed us to Yellow Health, and we hit ourselves, almost landing ourselves to Red Health thanks to Confusion. And I realized that there was no way we're winning this. So this is our third attempt, because the second attempt we got burned and got taken out. So here's our third attempt. Of course we get confused thanks to Confuse Ray, and we hit ourselves because of it. She gets hit by Hail, and then she hits us with Shadow Ball as we heal up with and then we went for a crit with Icy Wind, but heals. And then we finally finish Mismagius off with another critical Icy Wind. Boy, that was extremely lucky. So before we can move on to the next gym, we have to go get past our rival first, who sets Staravia out first. She uses double team, but it didn't matter because we just one-shot her with Icy Wind before it had a chance to, she had a chance to do more double teams. Up next is his newly evolved Chimchar that now becomes a Monferno. And if he's faster than us and nearly one-shots us with Flame Wheel as we do decent damage with Return. And I already know that since he's faster than us, he's gonna freaking obliterate us. So there's really no point even continuing. Yep. So this is basically the major problem of this challenge. It's that Snover is 4 times weak to fire. And now it's important to note this because sooner or later we're gonna be going up against the Elite Four member Flint, which is the fire type trainer, and we're gonna struggle with that. Guess we'll just try and figure it out how to get past him when the time comes. So after a little training, we decided to tackle this again. Of course, he's still faster than us, which goes for Flame Wheel. We have 22 health left as we return to do decent damage, and then it gets to yellow health as it gets buffed by Hail. And yeah, we still can't survive because he's faster than us. He's gonna just take us out with Flame Wheel. God, I can see the problem here already. So after getting fed up of losing to Monferno over and over again, I decided to grind up to level 40. So here we are, back at it again. We used Return, which did massive damage, as I used Flame Wheel to do massive damage to us. We healed thanks to an Oran Berry, and gets hurt by Hail. Then we use one more Return to finally take care of that pesky Monferno. Okay, so next up is Roselia. We just one-shot her with Icy Wind before she had a chance to do anything. Finally, his last Pokemon is a Weasel. We went for a Razor Leaf but avoided as it used Pursuit to do little damage to us. And he used his quick attack to hurt us a little bit. Then we finally hit with Razor Leaf, finishing Weasel off with one hit and ending the rival battle. So now we can move on to another gym. Alright, so our next gym battle is with the Flying type gym leader. She starts things off with a Meditite. You use Fake Out, which causes us to flinch, and then it gets buffed by Hail. Then we went for Return, which, luckily for us, one-shots it before it can do any more damage. Her next Pokemon is a Machoke, which we use Return, which lands the yellow health as we restore some of her HP. His attack miss, and then it gets buffed. Then we use Icy Wind to finish it off. So her last Pokemon is Lucario. They went for Force Palm, which did a huge damage, super effective. We used Return, which done little. We used Heal Up thanks to Shell Bell. Uses Force Palm again, which landed us with 5 health. We went for Icy Wind but missed as it gets buffed by Hail. And I realized that there's no way we would win. So I think I tried this fight multiple times and I still can... Oh, no. I'll probably cut that one. What really does not help that Lucario is half steel and half fighting, so basically all of our moves is freaking useless. So after trying a whole bunch of times, I decided to train Snover up till he's a level 55, and then we did a whole bunch of times and then finally get this run. Of course, he uses Force Palm on us, which lands us to yellow health and are paralyzed, so we use Grass Knot, and then got buffed by Hail, and we landed at red health as we used another Grass Knot, finally finishing off that beastly Lucario. Oh my god. Now why do I have the feeling that's telling me something? That we're gonna face another Lucario later on in this challenge. The next gym leader we come across is the water type gym leader Wink. And of course, his first Pokemon is a freaking Gyarados. You know what that means, yep, our attack gets cut in half because of imitate. And we start things off with using Icy Wind, which lowers his speed as he fights us, and then he gets buffed by Hail. Then we use Grass Knot to finish it off. His next Pokemon is a Quagsire. We just use Grass Knot to one-shot him because it's a water and ground and it's 4 times weak to grass. His last Pokemon is Floatzel. It uses Crunch on us to do a little damage to us, and then we use Grass Knot to one-shot him, earning us our next gym badge. So here we have our first Cyrus fight, which starts off with a Sneasel. He uses Ice Punch, which does a crap ton of damage thanks to it being a crit. Then we use Return to almost kill it one hit, but then Cyrus uses a Hyper Potion to fully heal it. Then we use Return to have it just a sliver of health left again. He uses Ice Punch, and then we finally finish it off with another Return. Next up is Golbat, which gets one-shotted by Icy Wind. Man, I guess it doesn't help Golbat's case that it's part poison and flying. Alright, so now we have his final Pokemon, which is a Murkrow. He uses Drill Peck, which did serious damage to us. But then we finished him off with one Icy Wind, ending the first Cyrus fight. Man, if only I didn't have an ice move, the Murkrow would have killed us. Okay, so funny story. On my first attempt on this rival battle before going up against the Steel type gym, I forgotten that a rival battle was coming up and surprised the hell out of me. And I wasn't prepared, so I lost that one because of my unpreparedness. But this time I saved, healed up, and ready to fight our rival battle. And he starts off with Staraptor, which gets annihilated by Icy Wind. Up next is Infernape, we use Water Pulse, which almost killed it one hit and becomes confused. Hits himself to confusion with just a sliver health left, and the Hailstorm from the Snow Warning ability finished Infernape off. I really gotta say, this Snow Warning ability really comes in handy when it needs to. Next up is Heracross. We use Icy Wind to land into yellow health, as I use Brick Break to do massive damage to us. And then it gets buffed by Hail, and then we use another Icy Wind to finish it off. So up next is Roserade, which gets almost one-shot by Icy Wind. Lowers its speed, uses Grass Whistle but missed. Then it gets finished off by Snow Warning's Hail. So our rival's last Pokemon is Floatzel. We uses Swift to damage us a little bit as we use Giga Drain to freaking annihilate him to gain back our life. Ending that battle. You know, something tells me our rival's trying to tell us something with Infernape. I don't know, I guess we'll find out later in this challenge. So the next gym leader we're going up against is the Steel type gym leader Byron, and he starts things off with a Magnemite. We start things off with using Icy Wind, which didn't do a whole lot of damage. And he missed his attack, so he gets buffed by Hail. Then we use another Ice attack to land to yellow health, raise his special defense, and then he fully heals him with a Hyper Potion, and then we use Icy Wind to do more damage. Then we use Giga Drain to land to almost red health as he uses Flash Cannon, almost completely destroying us. Man. This gym's gonna be harder than I thought. I do have to apologize. I thought it missed the attack, but turns out it used Metal Sound to lower my Snover's special defense. So here's our second try. We did Giga Drain, which did more damage, and it uses Metal Sound to lower our special defense. Then it gets buffed by Hail. Then we use another Giga Drain to land it to red health, but then one-shots us with Flash Cannon. You know what's... I don't know what's more aggravating. That we can't get past Magneton, or in the second attempt, we almost beat it. Alright, well, time for another attempt. Alright, this is third attempt. And this time we straight up use Water Pulse, which thankfully killed Magneton because it was a crit. Eliminating the first of Byron's Pokemon. Okay, so note to self. Do not underestimate Water Pulse. This next Pokemon is Bastiodon. Oh, we took half of his health away, and then uses Iron Defense to boost up his defense. Gets buffed by Hail, heals up with a Citrus Berry, and then we use Water Pulse to, again, almost landing. Yeah, red health, it buffs his defense. And then he gets healed by a full restore. Then we use another Water Pulse to land him to yellow health this time. Gets buffed by Hail, and then we use one more Water Pulse to finally finish him off. So his last Pokemon is Steelix. We use Giga Drain to drain most of its health as he used Sandstorm to get rid of our Hailstorm. And then we use Water Pulse to finish it off, earning us our Steel Badge. Oh my god, I am not looking forward towards endgame. So before we go up against our next gym leader, we got some Team Plasma shenanigans to deal with. So the first of the commanders is Saturn, and he starts things off with Golbat, which we single-handedly one-shotted it with an Icy Wind. His next Pokemon for us to fight is the very imitating Toxicroak. We use Water Pulse to do amazing damage, as it uses Poison Jab to hurt us a bit, and we're poisoned because of it. And then we use Giga Drain to almost land to red health to gain some of our health back. It uses Citrus Ray to heal up some of his health, and finish it off with a quick break. Ending our run. Several tries later and we get this run. We first use Water Pulse, which does amazing damage, and also causes Toxicroak to confuse himself, which causes him to hit himself, and then heals with his berry. Then he gets buffed by Hail, and then we use Icy Wind to land him to Sliver. Then he finishes himself off thanks to him being confused. Man, if only he was confused earlier, that would have been helpful. And our last Pokemon to fight is Bronzor. So we just use Water Pulse, which does amazing damage, and then gets buffed by Hail when he raises special defense. We use Water Pulse again and ground confused, but he still hit us with Rock Tomb, lowering our speed. He gets buffed by Hail, and then we finish him off with one more Water Pulse, ending the first of many, not first, but one of the commanders that we have to deal with. Our next commander battle is us versus Commander Mars, and of course he starts things off with the Golbat, which gets one-shotted by Icy Wind. You know, I kind of feel bad for Golbat. The moment he sees freaking Snover, he's probably thinking, oh, I can take this guy down. He's a grass type. But yet, he fails to know that it's part ice, and he's faster than it, so... Yeah, I just want to clarify, I kind of feel bad for Golbat. And our next Pokemon to fight is a Bronzor, so we just use Water Pulse, which does major damage, as I use Gyro Ball, which barely hurt us. Then it gets buffed by Hail. And then we use another Water Pulse to land to red health, and became confused. Oh wait, we became confused, and we hit ourselves because of it. He must use Confuse Ray, and then he used Gyro Ball, which barely hurt us. just having a slither of health, and then beside us being confused, we finished off with one more Water Pulse. Her last Pokemon is the very tanky Ugly. Of course, she uses Fake Out, which causes us to flinch, but then she gets buffed by Hail. Then she uses Slash to almost land us to red health as we use Giga Drain to drain majority of her health, so we are back in the green because of it. But then she heals thanks to a Citrus Berry as she gets buffed. We went for Hypnosis but missed, and we landed red health. We use Icy Wind to finally finish it off. Our next gym leader is the Ice-type gym leader Candace. And she starts things off with a Sneasel. It uses Aerial Ace, which didn't hurt too bad, as we used Water Pulse to do decent damage. Then she used Aerial Ace again, and then we use Giga Drain to basically finish her off. Next up is Piloswine, which gets one-shotted by Giga Drain, and which causes us to be fully healed because of it. Next up is Abomasnow. We use Icy Wind, which did a decent amount of damage, as I used Focus Blast, which did a decent enough damage. Then we use Giga Drain, which didn't do too much, but we needed it to restore our health. But then he Focus Blast us to almost red health. We used Giga Drain again, and we got more health from him. He went for Focus Blast again, but missed. And of course, she uses a full restore. God dang it. Icy Wind to do decent damage. And of course, we missed. We both missed. We used Icy Wind again to land to red health, as I used Focus Blast, but missed. Then we finally used one more Icy Wind to finally finish off Abomasnow. Oh boy, oh boy. It's freaking Frost Slash time. Ugh. And of course, it's faster than us and uses Blizzard, and our Giga Drain missed! So of course. So this is the part where I have to address the elephant in the room. She has Snow Cloak. Okay? For those of you who don't know what Snow Cloak is, it's basically an ability. It's basically an ability that raises the evasiveness of that Pokemon if it's hailing, which means it's gonna be benefiting from our snow warning. So that's fun. Should I mention that this thing also knows Double Team to raise its evasiveness even higher, even though Snow Cloak already does it? This is gonna be a rough gym battle, isn't it? Well, after grinding for a while and losing a whole bunch of attempts, I decided enough is enough. The only way I'll be able to take down Frost Slash is with the move Sheer Cold. For those who don't know what Sheer Cold is, it's a one-hit KO move. Even though it does eliminate enemies with one hit, but there's a problem. The accuracy is bad. So, even though we would probably get rid of the one Ice-type move we can use against Abomasnow, which will probably miss a whole bunch of times on my first attempt, so needless to say, I am not looking forward to doing this attempt at all. Okay, so I maxed out the PP for Sheer Cold thanks to PP ups and decided to take on the gym again. And with freaking luck, we were able to take out Abomasnow with Sheer Cold. Okay, so that was completely out of luck. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get lucky with it a second time with Frost Slash. Well, I would like to say that I missed pretty much all the attempts and had to redo it, but nope! Well, he used Blizzard, and then we like what happened to Abomasnow, we were lucky enough to freaking hit Frostlass with the sheer cold. Huh. You know, that kind of threw me off guard, hitting sheer cold not just once, but twice. But don't get used to sheer cold. This move is going away as soon as, I get my hands on, Ice Beam. I know you guys probably saying that you should have kept sheer cold. I just don't like relying on one-hit KO moves, okay? So we have another Cyrus battle on our hands. As usual, he sends out Sneasel. Uses Screech to lower our defense to use Ice Beam, which does major damage to him. Uses Ice Punch to do major damage to us, and then we use Giga Drain to finish Sneasel off, restoring our health in the process. His next Pokemon is Crobat. It uses Poison Fang, which does major damage to us. It poisons us in the process, but then we just use Ice Beam to one-shot it before it can do any more harm. Man, if we didn't finish it off, he probably would have finished us. His last Pokemon is Hunchcrow, which doesn't last too long, as we finished it off with Ice Beam. And then we gain... Oh, I thought we'd get hurt by poison. No, if the battle went on any longer, poison probably would finish off. Next up is Commander Saturn, and he starts things off with a Golbat, which we one-shotted with Ice Beam. Next up is Toxicroak. We use Ice Beam to do decent ult. We took it out one hit. I thought I struggled with that guy. Apparently not. I guess that's how strong Ice Beam is. His last Pokemon is a Bronzor. We use Ice Beam, which does decent damage, as we use Gyro Ball, which did hurt us a little bit. Gets buffed by Hail, and then we use Giga Drain to almost finish it off. We store our health, we became confused, gets buffed by Hail. Despite our confusion, we finished off with a Water Pulse. And thus ending the battle with Commander Saturn. Here we have the stupid double battle, but don't worry, I have strategy. So, one of them is running a Perugly, and the other one's running a Skuntank. Both are pretty strong and pretty tanky. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just tackle one Pokemon at a time, so I can get through that person's team, and then target the next person. So after we take out Bronzor and Golbat and another Bronzor, thanks to our teammate, which is our rival. One sends out Skuntank while the other sends out Golbat. We use Ice Beam on the Golbat, which takes care of it. But we're not so fortunate with Skuntank, as it used Flamethrower to kill us. So, see, this is why this is the part where I think, okay, so Skuntank's gonna be a problem, so I should probably save that Pokemon for last. Alright, so we made it to Perugly after we take out Mars's Bronzor. He uses Aerial Ace on us, which did super damage, as we use Ice Beam to do decent damage. Bronzor uses success on Munchlax, gets buffed by Hail. Yeah, you can tell there's a lot of stuff going on. She uses Aerial Ace again, which land us to yellow health, so we use Giga Drain to land it to red health to heal us up a little bit. Then Bronzor used Rock Slide on us, damaged us a little bit. Perugly gets buffed by Hail, And then we use another Giga Drain to finally finish Perugly off. And before I move on to Mars's next Pokemon, Bronzor uses Gyro Ball to do a little damage to us, despite it being super effective. And of course we have Mars's Golbat, which does go down to an Ice Beam. And so now all we have left is Commander Jupiter's Pokemon to deal with. Okay, so we're back with Skuntank. You think now we fare finally, well, even though our health is not really good. We used Ice Beam, which does almost kill it, but then it heals up with a Citrus Berry, and then we get one-shot by Flamethrower. I think we might have to max our use 6 double teams and come back to Skuntank. Next up is Skuntank, as we use Ice Beam to almost kill it, but then it heals to Citrus. It uses Punishment, and she tried to use Flamethrower, but missed thanks to our 6 double teams. Fernate was able to finish it off with Close Combat. I wonder if this double team's gonna be the one we use for the Elite Four. After going through Garantina's world, we get to Cyrus, but we don't even stand a chance. He's faster than us, and we die to one hit with Flamethrower every single time. I guess that's what I get for being 4 times weak to fire. So you know what that means? Yep. We have to grind to max level. I knew we were going to have to do it eventually towards endgame. So, towards endgame. Anyways, just so Snover has a chance on the Elite Four, especially against Flint. So we might as well do it now and get it over with. And I'm also doing it just hoping and praying that level 100 will be able to outspeed Houndoom and be able to beat the snot out of Cyrus. But let's just hope at that point. So after we maxed out on our level, we decided to go for Cyrus again, and this time we're faster thanks to the 100 level gap, so we use Water Pulse to one-shot Houndoom. Alright, so our next Pokemon to deal with is Crobat. It uses Confuse Ray, which causes us to be confused, but despite for us being confused, we were able to use Ice Beam, which one-shots it. Next up is Honchkrow. Besides us being confused, we still used Ice Beam to one-shot Honchkrow, so I didn't get a chance to do anything. Our next Pokemon to face is a Weavile, and of course it uses Fake Out, which causes us to flinch. Then he uses X-Scissor to do a little bit more damage to us. And despite being confused thanks to Confuse Ray, we were able to use Water Pulse to land to yellow health, but healed thanks to a Citrus Berry. It uses Night Slash, which hurt us a bit. We snapped out of Confusion and used Water Pulse to land it to red health. And then he uses a full Restore before we had a chance to finish it off. We used Water Pulse, which landed to yellow health yet again. And the Water Pulse made him confused, which caused him to hurt himself as we finished him off with a Giga Drain, restoring our health and finishing off Weavile in the process. Next up is Gyarados, which, you know what that means, our attack goes down thanks to its Imitate. We use Ice Beam, which almost one-shots it, and then it uses Ice Fang. But thanks to the Snow's Warning, Hailstorm was able to knock it out and defeating Cyrus for the 3rd and final time. Alright, so up next is Falkner. Okay, do I seriously need to do a voiceover of this? He clearly does not stand a chance against our level 100 Snover. We just annihilated Jolteon with one Ice Beam. Same with freaking Raichu. So yeah, this is gonna be a... Yeah, it's a one-shot sweep. And then, what am I gonna do? I used Ice Beam, which, one-shots him. Oh, shit. Of course, got Dr. Eggman, the electrical Dr. Eggman. And, we, for some reason, used Giga Drain, even though we didn't use Ice Beam, which almost freaking one-shot him. Then he heals with Citrus Berry, and then uses Fire Punch, which does massive damage. Gets buffed by Hail, and then I didn't want to risk it and just finish him off with Ice Beam. So, other than that, this gym was a cakewalk. Yes, I know I did do a little hiccup, which took almost half of our health away, but other than that, he was no trouble at all. So it's time for our final rival battle before we tackle the Elite Four. Of course, he starts with Star Raptor, which gets one-shot by Ice Beam. Next up is Infernape, which gets one-shot by Water Pulse. Next up is Heracross, which gets one-shot by Ice Beam. Here comes Roserade, which gets one-shot by Ice Beam due being weak to ice. Up next is Full Assault, which gets one-shot by Giga Drain. Here is last but definitely not least is Snorlax. And we use Ice Beam, which almost takes him out to red health as he uses Body Slam to hurt us a little bit. Then he gets to red health thanks to our Hail. Then we finish him off with an Ice Beam, ending our squabble between our rival once and for all. Until we do another Gen 4 run, that is. I'm actually surprised I didn't use any healing items. So before we take on the Elite Four, here are my stats. I'm not sure if we're gonna probably struggle a little bit or a lot with Flint, but I'm still confident. I'm not sure if we are gonna be able to beat the Elite Four and the champion. So guys, place your bets in the comments if you think I will win or not. Let's do this. Our first Elite Four member we tackle is the Bug Trainer Aaron, and he starts things off with Mega. We use Ice Beam, which one-shots it. Next up is Heracross. We start things off with Ice Beam, but takes half of its health as we use Night Slash to do a little bit of damage. Then we use another round of Ice Beam and took care of Scizor. Alright, so next up is Vespiquen, which gets one-shot by a critical Ice Beam. I think Ice Beam would just one-shot it regardless without that crit. Next up is Heracross, which gets annihilated by Ice Beam. Our Bug Trainer's last Pokemon is Trapeon, who isn't a bug type for some reason. Yeah, I don't get it either. So he uses Cross Poison, which does massive damage, as we use Ice Beam, which annihilates it, eliminating the first of the four of the Elite Four members. So after we healed Snover up, we tackle the Ground-type trainer Bertha, and she starts things off with Whiscash. We set up our Hyper Beam as we get hit by a move, and then we use Solar Beam, which completely annihilates Whiscash. Up next is Gliscor, which gets annihilated by Ice Beam. Our next Pokemon to face is Golem. So we set up our Solar Beam as he hit us with massive damage with Fire Punch. gets buffed by Hail, and then we show him what for with Solar Beam, which one-shots it. I guess that's what it gets for being 4 times weak to grass. Next up is Rhyperior. We set up our Solar Beam as it went for Avalanche, and then we use Solar Beam, which completely annihilates him. Up next is Hippowdon, which has a Sandstorm ability, which now cancels out our Snow Warning. Sad. Yeah, it really sucked. And then we use Ice Beam to one-shot Hippowdon. We heal up to Shell Bell and beaten the second member of the Elite Four. Alright, so here it is, the Flint fight. So, as we per usual, we one-shot Houndoom with Water Pulse. Up next is Infernape. And, well, we didn't get a chance to land a single hit as it used Flare Blitz to one-shot us. Of course, he gets massive damage to him, but really doesn't matter. This fight's gonna suck, isn't it? Alright, here we go again. It uses Flare Blitz to do massive damage to us, making us only have 15 health left as it takes half of its own health. Well, it heals thanks to an Oranberry. Then we use Water Pulse to finish Infernape off. Thank God. Now you think we have an easier time with Flareon, which we use Water Pulse, which didn't kill, and then uses Overheat to finish this off. Great. So, Flare Blitz is an issue. So we might have to max our double teams so we stood a chance against Flint. Alright, so I'm gonna have to address the elephant in the room. So here we are trying to farm up our 6 double teams, but this is where the problem starts. Every time I try to use my 6 double teams up, I always get one-shotted by Flamethrower every single time when I'm at my 2nd or 3rd double team. And it's really annoying that I have to redo the fight just because I get one-shotted by Flamethrower. I was hoping that son of a gun Houndoom would just miss, but he doesn't. And sometimes he don't even die straight away with Water Pulse. Sometimes he freaking survives with just a sliver, and then gets healed with stupid full restore. And that Sunny Day of his is definitely a problem. It weakens my water type moves. So yeah, this is a severe problem. Oh, and it also doesn't help that even I maxed out my freaking double teams, they still hit with Flare Blitz. So yeah, we're gonna probably have to get something to make our water type moves stronger. I got out of Elite Four and went to get Mystic Water, which will boost up my water type move. It was the only thing I could think of to fight against that stupid Sunny Day. Rain Dance isn't an option for me because that means I had to get rid of one of my other moves, and I can't risk doing that. Alright, so I'll meet you guys back to Flint. Yes, it means I have to refight the first two Elite Four members. So finally, after so many attempts, he missed his Flare Blitz, and we hit him with the Water Pulse that we desperately needed to finally take that Rain Boss freaking Infernape down. Alright, but we're not out of the woods yet. We still got, like, what? 4 more Pokemon to deal with? No, 3 more Pokemon. My bad. Next up is his Flareon, but we're faster, so we use Water Pulse to almost one-shot it, as he used Overheat but missed thanks to our double teams. Then Flint uses a full restore to fully heal Flareon as we use Water Pulse to almost one-shot it again. Then we use Water Pulse one more time to finally finish off the Flareon that just refuses to die. Next up is Rapidash. It tried to use Flare Blitz but missed, just like with our double team. Then we use Water Pulse to one-shot it. His last Pokemon is Magmotor. We use Water Pulse, which almost landed it to red, and heals itself thanks to Citrus Berry. It went for Flamethrower but missed thanks to our double teams. And then use one more Flamethrower for that one KO we desperately needed to finally defeat Flint once and for all. My god. This took so many attempts just to get that run. Holy snot. Now, there's only one Elite Four member remaining. So after we restored our PP and our health, and switched held items, we went ahead and go to the Psychic type trainer, Lucan, and he starts things off with Mr. Mime. Well, we used Ice Beam to one-shot him before he had a chance to do anything. Up next is Bronzong. We used Water Pulse to do significant damage. It became confused and then raised his defense. Then we use an Ice Beam to finish him off thanks to it being a crit. His next Pokemon is Gallade. We start things off by using Ice Beam to do significant damage, but then he healed a little bit. He tried to go for Stone Edge, but it missed, and then gets buffed by Hail, and then we finish him off with Ice Beam. Next up is Espeon. It starts things off with Single Beam, which hurt us a little bit, and then we use Ice Beam to one-shot it before it done any more harm. His last Pokemon is Alakazam. It went for Focus Blast, but missed, and then we used Ice Beam to one-shot it. And that's it. That's all the Elite Four members. All that's left is the champion, and then we can kiss this challenge goodbye. Move on with our lives. So here we are. The final battle between us and the champion. And she starts things off with Spiritomb. We use Ice Beam, which almost took out one hit, as it used Shadow Ball to do a little bit of damage to us. Then I get buffed by Hail, which only has a sliver left, but won't be for long since she used a full restore to heal it. Then we use another Ice Beam to land it to red health again, and then it gets hit by Hail. Then we use Water Pulse to finish it off. Next up we got Lucario. We start things off by using Ice Beam, which took away half of its health, and then she used Aura Sphere, which we're super weak to, and then we used another Ice Beam to almost take it out. Then use a Stone Edge which we barely survived, and then Hail took it out. And then here we have Togekiss, and I wasn't sure, but we used Ice Beam, which took care of it. Next up is Roserade, which gets one-shotted by Ice Beam. Next up is her Sumo Legendary Garchomp, but we didn't get a chance to do anything because it uses Dragon Rush, which took us out from beating her. We eventually get back to Garchomp, but we don't last too long as we get one shot by Flamethrower. Due to us having low health. So I guess we're gonna well, I was already using Double Team anyway, so we might as well just use 6 just so he can have a chance to miss his Flamethrower. I didn't even know Garchomp well, technically he is a dragon, so it makes sense for him to learn Flamethrower. Finally, after what seems like an eternity, we finally get a run where he misses his Flamethrower and we one-shot him with an Ice Beam. Well, that's what you get for using a Pokemon that's 4 times weak to Ice. But man, that took a lot of attempts just to get back to that stupid, god dang fight. Her last Pokemon is Milotic. we get ourselves ready for our solar beam, gets buffed by hail, and then we use solar beam to almost one-shot it. But my victory was short-lived when we got one-shotted by Mirko. God damn. Gosh darn it. And you know what that means. We have to start this whole fight over again. So yeah, that happening the first time around freaking blows, man. But it couldn't have. But you know what's worse? Having it happen a second time. Watch. I use solar beam, survives, and then it missed. And of course, she uses freaking full restore to fully heal her precious Milotic. Gets buffed by hail, and then we use solar beam to almost land to red. And of course, she uses Mirko again to freaking one-shot me. Whoop-de freaking do. So I didn't have that happen not just once, but twice. Alright, we're back to Milotic again, and I'm not taking any chances. I used Water Pulse, which didn't do too much damage. This is with Mirko, and then I decided to charge up from my Solar Beam. Mirko failed since we didn't attack. And then we use my Solar Beam to finally take out Milotic due to it being a crit. Finally ending the champion fight between us and Sin, which cost us to earn our spot in the Hall of Fame. Good lord, that was a tough challenge. I gotta say, this is probably a lot harder than my Charmander run I did ages ago. And that one was hard too. I gotta say, if it weren't for Snover knowing Water Pulse and Double Team, I don't think this challenge would have been possible. Shoot, I've seen people do a freaking Obama Snow run. So I decided to do a Snover run, see if it's possible to beat Pokemon Platinum with just a Snover. But my god, man, that Fire-type Gym Leader Flint really broke me. And what broke me even more was dealing with Cynthia's Milotic. So the next challenge will definitely be a Gen 3 run where I'm gonna try to beat all of Pokemon Emerald with a team of only one Gulpin. So that's gonna be my next challenge. Well, guys, that'll do it for today's video. Sorry this challenge was late. It was supposed to be, you know, be done by Christmas, but I didn't get to do that since, well, this challenge was brutal. It took 14 episodes to freaking finish this challenge, but god dang it, we got it done. So if you guys want to see me do any more of these Pokemon challenges and want to see me fail miserably, I do stream these now. So that's like my second Pokemon challenge I've done on Twitch. Yep, so if you want to see my first Pokemon challenge I've done on Twitch and this one, the link to my Twitch will be in the description. And if you guys want to see me play even more of these Pokemon challenges, like and comment on my videos, become a follower to both my Facebook pages and Twitch. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel, really appreciate it. And join the Shadow Snake, or me! And as always, this is Shadow Snake, signing out.